Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Roush, and welcome back to the Pokemon Speedruns Draft League. This is going to be my Week 12 Team Builder versus the New York Yanmegas that disregard the fact that the match hasn't happened yet. I know there's something linked there on the team schedule page. I think that was just a typo that somebody named Roush put in there on accident. Anyways, going over, let's go ahead and take a look at my team. Thanks in part to the 6 KO sweep that it did last week, Zygarde has now risen from like 4 weeks ago. It was not on my top 5 MVPs to now it is the runner-up MVP in the entire league. And fun fact, the league MVP, Scolipede, does not have any more matches to play this week. So if Zygarde manages to get 3 kills? If Zygarde manages to get 2 kills this week and survives, then it will tie Scolipede for MVP. But if it gets 3 kills, it'll be the MVP of the league. So, fun facts galore. So, yeah, Zygarde 50% has really been putting in work in the last few weeks. Even though I still hate it as a Pokemon, I respect that it is, like, half-heartedly broken. In a draft format, it's not as bad, especially because on my team, I don't have any other Pokemon that really help protect it in the lineup. Yeah, sure, I have some ice resistances, but I don't have any other 4 times weak Pokemon that would enable better coverage than ice. So it's kind of bizarre that it's been doing better and better, because in theory, with this team, it shouldn't. But anyways, plus 17 differential, 19 kills, or 20 kills, and 3 deaths. Tangrowth, been a fantastic, kind of a wall-type Pokemon. It was really useful last time against Parahax with the Rocky Helmet Leech Seed Protect set to help stall out the Trick Room. Sylveon, fantastic for me. Again, I love my Volky Fairy. I love having Wish and Heal Bell in the exact same slot. Fits my playstyle. I also love the offensive upside that it's had this season. Empoleon, same thing. Kind of a bulky-ish mon. Can set Stealth Rocks, can clear Stealth Rocks. Is immune to Toxic Spikes, so it's very good in that aspect. But it also has some offensive upside too. Especially last time against Parahax, the New York Yanmegas, when we got the 5 KO Choice Specs Surf Sweep. Claydol, very niche pick. Immune to spikes, immune to toxic spikes, immune to sticky webs, can rapid spin, and is not weak or resists both the edge quick combo. So it's been okay as a niche pick, but it's probably not even worth a tier 4 slot if I were to do it over again. Shuckle, not really been used to the best of its ability. It got sticky webs up in a single match. It made it useful. It was actually the first Zygarde sweep, come to think of it. But, I mean, that's kind of what I got it for, was pretty much to set up sticky webs. Mega Gallade, other really good Pokemon. Really glad was able to pick it up as the Mega for me. Let's see, Crobat, very niche pick. Very support-oriented so far. Similarly with Incineroar. Incineroar has been mainly a tank damage, switch out, get Intimidates off. I've been using it more and more with Assault Vest, just because that's its best thing. Xurkitree has been brought to 4 different matches, has only been used once. I mean, this Pokemon is kind of overshadowed by other members of the team in terms of getting sweeps, but it did get the 1 sweep against Ranger Squid, which I'm very, very glad of. But other than that, the rest of my team has just been so strong that Xurkitree's really gotten overshadowed. And one of the mons that's been overshadowing it was Greninja. Even though Greninja got 5 KOs in the first matchup, it's only gotten 3 kills since, one of those being a spike kill. So it's been okay, but it hasn't really been a dominant force, but it's always been in the back, always looming. As you can see, it's got the most survivals on my team. So in terms of in terms of pick, Greninja was actually a really good bargain for me. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Parahax's team. So what we have, Tapu Bulu, Crawdaunt, Stakataka, Reuniclus, Bronzong, Aromatisse, Mega Camel, Torn Therian, Gligar, Legarock, Duskform, and Cresselia. So some things to note right off the bat. So since we last faced this team, I think the only trade that he made was he originally had Machamp, and Machamp was a really huge threat to my team, and instead he brought Cresselia, which Cresselia, if you know a thing or two about my team, I have a pair of taunting dark types and a whole lot of other taunters on my team. Cresselia does not have a lot of offensive pressure, so I'm not really scared of it. I was a lot more scared of Machamp than I was of Cresselia, so that actually bodes way better for my team than it did before. Tapu Bulu, very hard hitter, sets up grassy terrain, most likely dies. I mean, I've got poison coverage out the wazoo. Crawdaunt, very good pick, very powerful, able to get Choice Bandit or Swords Dance, Aqua Jets, knockoffs with the adaptability boost. Ooh, very hard hitter. It's honestly one of the bigger threats to my team, even though I have a pair of water types, but they really don't want to be tanking adaptability knockoffs from it, so I need to be very careful around Crawdaunt. Stakataka, it's okay Pokemon. You really need to get Trick Room for it to live versus my team, because I have stuff that hits it for super effective with stabs. The likes of like Claydol and, of course, my big MVPs, my Mega Gallade and my Zygarde hit it really hard with their stabs. Just a couple of things that give it problems. Reuniclus and Bronzong are two mainly Trick Room kind of setters. Reuniclus more of a sweeper type, Bronzong more of a support type that also sets Stealth Rocks up. Both are relatively weak versus my team. Reuniclus really needs to be carrying coverage in order to not get walled by my dark types. So it's really difficult for it to run a kind of a dual dance, recover, psychic move type set, because my team is so balanced in terms of dealing with psychic types. Honestly, I've had problems with Reuniclus in the past, so I did draft the second dark type so I wouldn't have to worry about it this time around. But Reuniclus can cause problems, but I feel like it's not as big a deal in this scenario. Same thing with Bronzong. Aromatisse was actually a bigger problem for me last time. It also sets Trick Room. It can be more support oriented. It is a Wish Passer with 101 base HP wishes, also aromatherapies, so that could be a problem. Mega Camerupt is one of the biggest hitters on this team, if not the best hitter on this team. 145 base special attack with the Sheer Force, boosted Fire Blast, Earth Powers, Energy Balls off of Tapu Bulu, Grassy Terrains. Just kind of a threatening Pokemon, but you get it out of Trick Room, and it's ground weak, it's water weak, and if you remember anything about my team, I have the pair of water types, so I'm not normally concerned with Camerupt. I just need to keep Trick Room off the field, and then it doesn't bother me as much. Gligar, very defensive type Pokemon, Hypercutter, Immunity, Sandveil. It's not using Sandveil, it's probably going to be doing Immunity, mainly because I've been using Toxic in the past to help stall out certain teams. So if Gligar is being brought, I need to be careful. It's got a water weakness and an ice weakness, and I have two really hard special attacking water types. So Gligar isn't as threatening. But Tornadus Therian, as an offensive threat, is very good. It is slower than Greninja by a single point in the base. So Greninja can act as kind of, not exactly a counter, but as a deterrent for Tornadus, especially because Greninja is fairly powerful, and it is one of my Z-Crystal holsters. Similarly, Tornadus is for Parahax as well. Lycanroc Dusk, it does have a very nice speed tier. It speed ties with Gallade, though, so I'm not as concerned about it. Its stab rock is not the greatest versus my team. Its coverage options are relatively limited, so could be a problem, but I doubt that it will be. And of course, as I said, Cresselia isn't as big a deal to me because I do have taunting dark types on my team. So let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what I am bringing. So the first mon that I'm bringing is actually going to be Incineroar. So Choice Bandit Incineroar is more than likely going to be my lead. I have enough speed to outspeed Min Speed, Booloop, and Cresselia, because they share the same base, by a couple of points, just in case he wants to speed creep me, trying to speed creep him. So Incineroar, off the bat, Darkest Lariat, Knockoff, Earthquake, Flare Blitz. Earthquake is there for the Mega Camel, Flare Blitz is there for Bronzong, for Tapu, just for huge damage off on everything. Darkest Lariat is there because it's my most powerful Dark-type stab after Knockoff. And I'm bringing Knockoff just because between the 3-type coverage, Fire, Dark, Ground, there's not really anything that wants to tank a hit, and Knockoff could be very useful, especially in the early game. If there's something like a Cresselia standing in my way, I can knock it off and immediately neutralize its recovery, and then go for like Darkest Lariats. The calc is, let me quick pull that up. Cresselia, let's pretend like it's Fizz Def versus my Incineroar. And my Darkest Lariat is doing way more than 0. It is doing, Knockoff is actually a 2-hit KO, so it'll do 68.9% the first turn, and then 45 the second. So a max defense Cresselia is 2-hit KO'd by Incineroar straight off the bat. So that's kind of why I want to lead with Incineroar, because it could just start threatening any Pokemon on that team. Unfortunately, something like Tornadus will kind of make me iffy about staying in, just because I can figure that fighting type coverage is coming my way, because Empoleon was a huge problem for his team last time. So but other than that, like, my coverage is so good, and it just strikes the entire team hard, so I feel like Incineroar would make a fantastic lead this week. I'm also going to be bringing along Buckle This, the Shuckle, as soon as that picture loads. Shuckle, Sticky Web, Stealth Rock, Rest, and Toxic with the Chesto Berry. This is mainly here as a... it switches in on Mega Camel. It does take a significant chunk, but I believe it isn't 2-hit KO'd. I gotta double check that. Camerupt, Mega... let's see. No, it is potentially 2-hit KO'd. It's a 16% chance to 2-hit KO. So, I can switch in, I can rest chest, I can get Toxic up, and then I can just rest, rinse, repeat. But, you know, eventually that damage will be catching up with me. So I decided that bringing Wish Sylveon is incredibly important this week. Also because Lone Star is going to be dealing a lot of damage to himself with Choice Bandit Flare Blitzes. So I do want that extra recovery. Wish Protect is obviously the best way to go. Also helps stalls out Trick Room. Hyper Voice is there because it's Stab Pixelate, you know. And Heal Bell is there for healing Rest Shuckle, healing Toxic Incineroar, healing Toxic entire rest of team. So it's mainly there, just complete support Pokemon and Trick Room kind of stalling. This also, it does take a significant chunk even from Mega Camerupt, but it is, if I still have my leftovers, Camerupt can't 2-hit KO me, so I could stall it out of Fire Blasts, but it's, I mean, it's very close. So this helps against Mega Camerupt as well. And Tornadus, for that matter, because, again, Max Spidef is the way to go, but I am going to get destroyed by things like Stack Attack, Attack Attacka, and Bronzong potentially as well. So because of that, I'm also bringing along Tangrowth. Thank you, Protect Leech Seed, Regenerator, Sludge Bomb for the Tapu, Giga Drain there just to help heal. This thing is going to be here to tank on the physical hitters that... that he has, the Parahax has. So I need to be very careful. I keep my main core alive. Leech Seed helps me, especially with momentum, because I don't have U-turn at all this week, spoiler alert. So, yeah, just very careful. I need to use my defensive guys to bring in and make an opening for Mega Gallade. I am bringing Mega Gallade this week. Swords Dance, Drain Punch, Poison Jab, Throat Chop. Once I am set up, nobody tanks 2 hits from this thing. Nobody. Throat Chop, 2-hit KOs. Cresselia, 2-hit KOs. Let's see. Most Bronzong, if not 1-hit KOs, Bronzong with either Throat Chop or Drain Punch, depending on if it's Fizz Def or Spit Def, which is another thing I can help find out with stuff like Incineroar, Tangrowth, etc., what spreads are. Poison Jab is there mainly because Aromatisse is normally a good, switch-in type of Pokemon, but also because it hits Bulu really hard, kills even if I'm not set up. My speed is there so that I outspeed max speed Bulu by a single point, and of course at the same time Cresselia as well. Wait a second, that's not right. I don't outspeed Cresselia by a single point. Hold on, did I make a mistake? I think I just did max speed Bulu. Yeah, I outspeed max speed Jolly Bulu by a single point, but he's not running max speed Cress. He didn't have to be timid in order to outspeed me, but I do outspeed max speed Jolly Bulu by a single point, so Mega Glade is very good. But, of course, I still have a problem with Gligar. I am bringing a water type, and my water type of choice is going to be Empoleon, the sub-agility Pitaya Berry. I am going to try this strategy one more time. With my HP, I'm able to set up 3 subs, and pop my Pitaya Berry, get into Torrent, Torrent boosted, +1 Surfs, devastating damage all across the board. Same thing as the choice specs. Flash Cannon is there because it's good coverage alongside water. Hits Tapu Bulu hard. Hits, what was the other thing that was a problem? I think that's it. That's the only reason to have Flash Cannon. Other than that, water, Surfs, Torrent boosted Surfs are dealing massive damage to everybody. So I'm at 25% and I have my Pitaya Berry, of course, activated. Wow. I mean, it's not dealing the best damage to Cresselia, so I do need that thing kind of weakened, but for stuff like Tornadus, if it's an offensive type Tornadus, Surf is killing, especially after rocks are up. Camerupt is, of course, dying. Bulu is very much dying. Yeah, even a Spidef version of Tapu Bulu, once I pop my Pitaya Berry, my Flash Cannon is doing 84 to 99%, and that is a max Spidef variant. If he's just max HP, he's dead. So, I mean, this is a fantastic cleaner Pokemon, especially this week, and I hope to get the best use out of my 2 cleaners and my 3 kind of support-ish Pokemon. And yeah, we're here to make threats and be threats. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Match will be up later today, and I will see you then. Roush is out. Peace.